All right, this is it. I've officially lost it. We're loaded up in the Dodge, headed to a good friend's house in Greenville, South Carolina, and we are going to potentially look at the new fleet vehicle. All right, as you can see, this right here is a 1993 Suzuki Jimny. This was imported from Japan sometime around June or July of this year, and I was able to pick it up from an importer in Greenville, and let's go ahead and take a look at it a little bit closer. So a little difference about the Jimnys versus the Suzuki Samurais, which we did get here in the US. Right side drive, obviously that's a difference. This one, you can see the hood scoop here, and that is functional, and we'll get to that here in a minute. What I've done so far since I've had it, like I said, I've had it about a week. The tires were completely shot, so I went ahead and got one size up tire and just some new ones. The other ones were super dry rotted. So this is a 215/70/16. That's another difference in the JDM versus the USDM spec, was the 16-inch wheels factory. So intercooler and turbocharger and hood scoop, it's 6 inches shorter. That's due to the bumpers, which are different than the US spec crash ratings. It's actually 6 inches narrower, so you can see this doesn't have the flares like the US spec does, and that is because to fit in the K car rules, you had to you were limited to a certain width, so the mirrors actually fold in and everything, and the axles were narrowed to meet that spec. So still all the same like axle like construction and drivetrain components, but these are actually geared 513 gears in for ring and pinion front and rear, and then they also have a lower transfer case gear set. So the Suzuki's, Jimnys, they all had the divorce transfer case, but the Jimnys had a lower high range and a lower low range than the Samurais were offered with. And then also the gear ratios in the box are a close ratio 5-speed, which actually terminate in it is a true overdrive, but it is a lower ratio overdrive than the US spec. This one has the kind of safari top. I think that's super neat. Somebody described it as a Land Rover and a Samurai had a baby, but I like it because it's a full metal tin top. So we'll go ahead and open up the back hatch here. So super clean example of one. This is just the insulation here that you can see, but there's no rust in here. It's all just old. The back seat, I'm gonna have to move this back. I don't know what kind of, I guess if you didn't have legs, you could totally sit back here. But other than that, they moved the seat so far forward for this cargo space that you have no, I don't know that you could fit a person in there. So we'll go around to the driver's side. So door cards, barely damaged, and again, all the Samurai stuff will fit to replace that. So if you wanted to get some of the newer aftermarket covers or something, you could do that. Interior, besides this tape to kind of hold the bottom of the seat cover together, pretty clean example. I think it's funny they have the labeling, but so this one actually has, I don't know the exact conversion anymore because I drove it, but I bought it with around 60,000 miles, but very close to what you would have got in the Samurai. This is a aftermarket. It only has the JDM frequencies, so it does not work very well hear at all. I get some maybe 3 channels. It does have the optional fog lights, and they work when the headlights are on. So let's go ahead and pop the hood so we can get a look at really what I think is the biggest difference, besides the right-hand drive stuff. Sorry for all the walking around. I'm gonna try and get this all done in one take here. So this right here is a, let me remember the designation, but a F6A. I'll check it on the VIN plate here in just one second. But yeah, it is a F6A, and this is the turbocharged version. So if you had a Suzuki Carry, which is the mini truck, you could get them with an F6A, and then some had turbos and some did not. And then I think the Cappuccinos had a different variant, maybe a dual overhead cam model. So this is the intercooler. This is the access to the hood scoop there. Little baby turbo. You can't really, you can kind of see the wastegate actuator down there, but tiny, tiny. So this is 660 cc's. I think it's 659 or something to be exact, but runs great. Fuel injected. Kind of looks a little complicated over here. This was during the like emissions era and everybody was going vacuum line crazy, but I think I could simplify some of that stuff down a little bit later. So because of the it's in kilometers, it is recommended at 100 kilometers to change a timing belt. So I went ahead and got a timing belt kit and valve cover gasket and all that stuff just to kind of get a baseline on the unit. I definitely don't want to be driving it around and beating on it without having that peace of mind. But super cool looking front end. Again, those fog lights, they do work. And it's weird, the power with the gearing is perfect. I live up on a mountain and I can pull the mountain in top gear, but it is definitely rev happy. So this is, I dare say, like a little street bike engine-esque. So it does rev up to, I think, like 7,000, 7,500 RPM, and you kind of need to use some of those revs. Doesn't have that much power to begin with, and then when you couple that with the lower gearing to try and make up for some of that lack of power, you end up with a little bit higher RPM. So that is what it is. But yeah, this is it. 1993 Suzuki Jimny. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any more questions about this thing, please comment below, like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more content about this thing. Because like I said, I have had it for just maybe a week now, and the tires is really the only thing I've done. I changed the oil as soon as I got it, just because there's no telling how long this thing sat in a port somewhere, or like I said, it did come in June or July. So, and I know that guy didn't change the oil. But if you guys have any questions, leave them down below. Thanks, guys.